Today, I am making a quilt inspired by the Bridgerton series on Netflix. I am taking the most gorgeous dress from season 3 and I am turning it into a quilt. I have never done anything like this before. No pattern to guide me, no similar quilts to look at. I am doing everything from scratch. If you watch Bridgerton, you know the dresses are absolutely insane, colorful and gorgeous and so unique. In season 1 alone, 1,800 dresses were created. I could have picked any dress, but there was one in particular that the moment I saw it, I became obsessed. It's a dress Penelope wears on the first episode of season 3, before the big makeover. This was a dress that turned Penelope into the main character. It's like she's not quite there yet, but the change has begun. And I really wanted to celebrate that. There are a lot of flowers though. It's going to take me forever if I have to do each of them by hand. But I have found a very crafty way to make them. I have the most beautiful fabrics I've ever seen to work with, but a big question remains. Can I pull the quilt out of my imagination? I don't know, but if I do, it means we can do anything we love. So why make a quilt? Well, first of all, hi, I'm Sandy and making quilts is my absolute favorite thing in the world. Also, quilts are not just for beds or to keep you warm. They are unique works of art stitched piece by piece with love. It's the perfect way to express yourself through soft fabric, bright colors, and whimsical patterns, like the quilt we are making today. Now, there are a couple of very serious challenges for me for this one. First, I do not want it to look like a dress. I need it to look like a quilt. So I can't be too literal about it, but at the same time, I need the quilt to resemble the dress. The inspiration here needs to be very obvious. And the second challenge, the one that has me really worried, are the flowers. How will I make them fit a quilt? How long will it take? Will I be able to create that abundant effect that dress had? This is the big question here, and we may as well get started to find out. Penelope always has these really colorful, fun dresses, but this one really does something for me. All the flowers and the colors that work so well together, it really is a very, very happy dress. And looking at it, it's obvious I need to do stripes, right? Squares don't really make much sense here, and any other pattern would make it way too busy. Now, let's take a moment to enjoy the incredible fabrics I have for this project. And I have to say, few things get me in a better mood than shopping for fabric. And buying fabric for this project in particular was a blast. Such happy, happy colors. So if I were to do a more literal version of this beautiful dress, I would add this strong orange to the top, separate it from the rest with this blue, and then just let the strips fall. But this to me is a dress, so it will not work for what I have in mind. I'm either using only these strips for the top and then binding them in blue, or I'm maybe adding blue throughout. If you don't enjoy fabric hunting like I do, there's a much better way. Let me tell you about Mrs. Quilty, the sponsor for this video. Mrs. Quilty delivers a box full of beautiful fabrics, a magazine with unique projects and special surprises to you every month. You get 12 to 16 different pieces of high quality, 100% cotton fabric to play with, and every box comes with new colors and patterns. I have been a huge fan of Mrs. Quilty ever since the first box, and I use their fabrics for most of my projects. Getting their box in the mail is actually my favorite time of the month. It kind of feels like Christmas. You don't know what you're getting, but you know it's gonna be good. So why get a subscription box? I gotta say, picking fabrics and colors that look great together can feel a little bit daunting. And Mrs. Quilty does it for you. I mean, look at these fabrics. They look so perfect together. I have some definite favorites here, guys. Also, their magazine is a source of inspiration with so many projects, ideas, and templates for different skill levels. And with every box, you get really cute free gifts. The magazine projects are really, really cool. These are very easy instructions, easy to follow with all the diagrams and whatnot. Mrs. Quilty is the best way for beginners to fall in love with quilting and for experienced quilters to get inspired. When I go to a shop to buy some fabric, I usually buy what I like, what I'm used to. With Mrs. Quilty, I get a little bit of everything, even fabric I'd never think of buying. And that's how I discover a brand new way to do what I've been doing for years. That's how I get excited with quilting again, trying new fabrics, new techniques, new patterns. patterns. It's exciting and fun. And it kind of brings me back to the first days, you know, when everything was so surprising and a little bit intimidating. I love it. But that's not all, because I hear there's a change coming very, very soon. Mrs. Quilty took your feedback and made some changes. We're talking even new, better fabric, written instructions that are easy peasy to follow, and so much more. If you want to give it a try, there's a 20% discount for the first Mrs. Quilty box if you click on the link in the description. So make sure you do not miss out. I'm going for a 20 by 20 inch piece, a little bigger than usual, but this one is worth it. We'll also need a 20 by 20 inch batting rectangle and the same size fabric for the backing. I'm using white. Now I have to say I am very much into Regency era films and shows, and dresses of course. I love Jane Austen, although there are very few versions that compare to the books. You know, apart from the Colin Firth series, that was kind of perfect. As for Bridgerton, I did like the two first series better than this one, but I also prefer those books to this one. But I find Penelope absolutely stunning, even when the dresses were completely crazy. These are kind of pastels, so they can follow it. This is fun. This is kind of a puzzle. And can I just say, this may very well be, you know, the simplest quilt I've ever done, but I'm pretty sure it will also be the most beautiful one I have ever done. You don't need to know a lot to make a stunning quilt. I think this one will prove it once and for all. I mean, look at this. We are talking about strips. That's all there is to it. A quilt made out of stunning strips because the fabrics are stunning. That's it. Also, you can take your inspiration from pretty much anywhere. Anything that inspires you is fair game. I have been inspired by the weirdest things, if I'm honest. Anything that I can take a pattern out of is good enough for me. Anything can inspire you to do your next quilt. And maybe you have found us because you're a Bridgerton fan and you've never quilted in your life. Well, guess what? This is the right channel to start. I am all about beginner level projects that look absolutely stunning. I am all about the tricks to make it easier and much more fun, okay? You will absolutely love making a quilt, even if it's just one, even if it's just this one. Trust me, give it a try, you will love it. Guys, I am so happy, so proud of what we've done, even though it's easy peasy. The only rule about Quilt As You Go that you need to know is before you add another strip, make sure that the first strip is nice and sewn, okay? Because if you move on to the other strips and then find out you actually missed a spot and you have a gap, you can't do it again. You'll just have to hand sew it and it will show. So that is the only thing you need to watch out for. Other than that, how fun is this? A very important question now. Which one of these awesome fabrics is your favorite? Let me know. Okay, so now that our quilt sandwich is nice and done, it's time to tackle the flowers. And here's my issue. I need something that's the right size, that will shine amongst all this burst of color in our quilt without overpowering it, and that doesn't take me a long time to do. When you look at Penelope's dress, the balance is perfect. There isn't one element that overpowers the others. They all work together in absolute harmony to create that stunning effect. That's what I'm after. My first option are Hexie flowers. Now let's see how this looks. Here are my Hexie stash. First, let's start by trying to make Hexie flowers and just scatter them here and see how they work. We can do them all in one color. We can do several colors. I'm not sure what I want yet, but I can tell you right now, this is huge. Pros for the Hexies, super colorful, and Hexies, yeah, Hexie flowers. That's all there is to it. It's absolutely gorgeous. Cons. Too big, too fussy to make. It will take me ages to do all that. So that's absolutely out of the question. Okay, the second option is a little bit more conceptual. I guess you'll have to see the flowers in the midst of what I will be doing. I am going to simplify my flower shapes here. Okay, so for each flower, I will be using 2 circles, maybe 3, or maybe I'll just use a button. Let me show you. Yeah, this isn't it either. No way. Pros, gorgeous, super colorful, and cute. Cons, not very durable and a lot of work to make. Luckily, I have another trick up my sleeve that I think are going to work. What do you say of flower appliques? They have such strong thermal adhesive. Once you glue that sucker on, you cannot take it off, so that's a plus. All I need to do is put them in place, press them with my iron, and that's it. Yeah, these will work very, very, very well. The question now is, how do I position them? If I were to do it like the dress, they would form a sort of a drape, well, two drapes actually, and then they would just get scattered down like it was raining down. But I think it will be way too much for the space we have here. So I'm thinking either doing a top strip of flowers and then letting them drip, or I could do like a side frame and then let them drip. Okay guys, let me show you option number one, which is the closest one to the original dress. Look at this. And this is the second, a little more simple version of our dress. Okay guys, so here's version number 3. It is a little bit of a mix of both previous versions. I have my favorite, it's not Mike's favorite, and he's crying right now. So please let me know which one is yours. And I've just realized I can't really do the flowers before I finish the quilt. I need to bind it, because if I don't bind it, if I glue the flowers on before the binding, I will essentially be sewing over the flowers. So let's do our binding. I need a 40-ish strip of 2 inches wide, and look at the fabric we are using. This is absolutely one of my favorite fabrics ever. I am machine sewing my binding. Let me show you. Look at this. I am telling you, this blue is everything. This really needed this blue. It is absolutely perfect. And the corners are pretty crisp, if I may say so myself. I haven't done classic binding in ages, and I still got it. Look at this. And now that we have taken this quilt up like 10 notches, it's time to go back to our flowers. Let's just get this show on the road. I am overwhelmed by the gorgeousness that's happening around here. Look at this, guys. This is even better than I had in my head. This one is definitely going to end up on that wall, let me tell you. This is beautiful. And there we have it, guys. Our beautiful Bridgerton dress/quilt. Easy to do and absolutely gorgeous. I hope you had fun. Thank you, Mrs. Quilty, for sponsoring this video. Don't forget to check out the link in the description with a 20% discount, and I'll see you soon. Bye bye.